Did you know there are guys out there, guys and gals probably, folks out there, who have an entire YouTube channels devoted to will it start videos. And those videos do really, really well. I'm not one of those people. I don't ever plan to be one of those people. Because I'm not a mechanic. I'm a horrible mechanic. Well, what's up, guys? It's Daniel from Arms Family Homestead, and I have a question for the men. You ladies are not allowed to answer this. Have you ever had an idea that at the time sounded like the greatest thing ever, like the greatest idea you've ever had, and then a few months later you're kind of unsure, and a few months later you're like, well, what was I thinking? No? I've never had one of those thoughts either. Just thought I'd ask. So, it has been a long time since you guys have really seen the Beast van. Actually, we camped in it one night at the pond right before a big flood, and then the very next day, a tornado came through and wiped out half of our town. And life changed. Life happened. And then it became summertime. And guess what? This 1986 E250 beast of a van does not have an air conditioner. It is not a summer-friendly vehicle at all. So, it's been sitting in the shop all summer. And all summer I've been thinking about, man, maybe this fall We can get the van out, park it down by the creek. It's not a river. It is not a van down by the river. It's a van down by the creek. There's a difference. But I think it would be fun for Houston, and if Jacoby comes over, Houston or whoever, to set up a semi-permanent campsite down here. The original plan, in my mind, was I was going to leave this, maybe not leave it, but set up a spot at the pond where we could take it over and catch some fish, cook them, clean them, do whatever at the pond. And other things, amongst other things. Some things just don't come to fruition. Since that time, we've lost all the fish in our pond. Then we lost all the water in the pond, which that was my fault. We drained the pond, and now that's a big, long project that's going to be very costly. So, while I do not see this van as a bad idea, it's obviously not getting used the way I hoped it would or wanted to. So we'll see what this fall brings. I need to do some more cleanup on our campsite, build a fire pit. But I don't know. I'm considering selling the van to help fund the pond project because it's just way more important. And while the van is cool, it's really only about 2 people friendly. Maybe 3 if you count 2 kids. It's not a family-friendly vehicle, which I knew that when I bought it. I've got a few ideas and things that I want to do with Houston before we sell the van. We'll see. These chairs are really comfortable. You ever had a zero-gravity chair? These things are comfortable. I know you guys don't like looking at my hairy knees, but... So, I'm not real sure what I'm going to do with the van. It's just been sitting in the shop all summer because it does not have an air conditioner, like I said earlier. I've got a little portable, like a tent air conditioner, small, from EcoFlow that I've got in the cabin at Mill Creek. And it would probably cool off. You know, you could make it tolerable to sleep in here at night, but if you're out on the road traveling or something, it's not going to keep it cool. It could be added. It could be put back. You know, all the components from the original air conditioner are gone, but it could be added back in the van up there. But I don't know. I did really want to put this in the car show in our hometown a few weeks ago, but it was like the perfect storm of everything going on on one day. We had the 5K, which was fine. We could have done, the 5K was at 7:30. We could have taken the van up there after that. But then Houston was supposed to have a football game that morning, which it ended up getting rained out. So part of the car show, it was raining. And then we had practice basically all day long for the Heaven's Gates Hell's Flames program that we put on at our church. And I didn't even get a chance to go see the car show, much less enter the van. And that one really kind of boned me out because I really wanted to. It would have been fun to set this up at the car show, get some outdoor carpet and a little, you know, table and seating area and all that, make it look like a full campsite. It didn't happen. Oh well. But you do have to admit, that's a pretty little spot for a campsite right here. I mean, we can come down here, cook, do whatever, hang out in the evenings, build a fire, listen to the sound of the waterfall. This right here on this creek is one of the most beautiful places in the world for me. Maybe it's just because of the history and the time I've spent down here and the memories. I'm sure that has a lot to do with it. But how could you not come down here, sit in one of those zero gravity reclining lawn chairs and fall asleep to the sound of that waterfall? Maybe have a little fire crackling in the background. I don't know. So, I don't know. What do you guys think we should do with the van longer term? It's probably going to be a short-term thing around here, I would say. We'll see what the fall and winter brings, but it's probably going to get sold to the next owner eventually. I didn't buy it thinking we'd keeping it forever, honestly. I bought it as a content generator. I mean, look at that thing. It screams social media content. It just reeks of it. So it was not a bad purchase. it just, I may need to put those funds into a better place for our family long term. I don't know. I haven't decided yet. Now I guess I got to walk back to the house. Didn't think this through all the way when I thought I'll drive it down to the creek and set up a campsite. I mean, it's not that far to home, but I don't know. As far as coming down here and even camping right now, think about it. Houston's football's wrapping up. It's almost finished. We got one more week. They are still undefeated, by the way. 4th, 5th, and 6th grade. They're down to their last Pee Wee football game this coming Saturday. Last one, 4th, 5th, and 6th grade. Then they move to school ball next year, and they've never been beaten. No pressure, right? Anyways, football's about to wrap up. Houston's not really into winter sports. He's not going to be playing basketball or anything. As strange as that sounds, in the family he grew up in, he does not play basketball. Takes after me. So Emily, with her surgery, she's not going to be playing basketball either, because obviously it's going to be 6 to 8 months for her to recover. So that seems like it leaves a lot of free time. But I will say this. It's deer season, and I feel like most of our evenings, as long as Houston has tags to fill, he's going to want to be hunting. So maybe we can do like a whitetail deer catch, clean, and cook on the creek in a van down by the river. I don't know. All right, got the shop cleaned up a little bit. I'm telling you, when that shop gets so cluttered and dusty and dirty in there, it's claustrophobic and you can't breathe. And taking a leaf blower, blowing all the dirt and dust out, makes a world of difference. And I'm telling you, getting that van out of there, woo, open up a little space. All right, next project. It's still here. The infamous dump truck. It needs to go home this evening. I haven't started it in over a week because I switched it all up and been doing dump trailer stuff instead of dump truck stuff. And it's been over a week since it started. Anybody want to place a bet on whether or not it's going to start? It needs to, because it needs to go home. Did you know there are guys out there, guys and gals probably, folks out there, who have an entire YouTube channels devoted to will it start videos, meaning they'll go out in a farmer's field and find an old truck or an old tractor or an old bulldozer and see if they can get it started. Things that have been setting for 10, 15, 20 years, have trees growing up through them. And those videos do really, really well. I'm not one of those people. I don't ever plan to be one of those people, because I'm not a mechanic. I'm a horrible mechanic. But I can start the dump truck! First try! Did you hear that? Cranked right up. I might as well start a Will It Start channel. Not gonna lie to you guys, I did not expect that to crank on the first boom. What in the world? I fought this thing off and on for a week. Didn't like to start until I replaced it. Now, get in, boom, fires right up and goes. Does that mean this truck's a female? I'm kidding, I'm joking. Sorry, I apologize. But it did start. So maybe this evening we can get it back home and get it off of my place. I just saw something go across the yard, and it's our new stray cat. Funny story about this cat. Let me tell you. Hang on, let me see if I can get close to it. Kitty, kitty, kitty. So I showed this cat on a video about a week ago. Come here, kitty cat. And we've not made much progress with her. But there is more to the story. Like Paul Harvey would say, the rest of the story. Hey, quit being skittish. Come hang out with us. All you do is come to the house, eat free food, and then just run off. So here's the story. While she meanders back off into the woods where she usually hides, I showed this cat on a video about a week ago. The video where we were bringing Emily home from the hospital. She was in the garage. We got to pet her. She comes in and eats every day. It's just a stray cat. And I didn't think a whole lot about it. And then I got a phone call from a friend. And she said, hey, you're not going to believe this, but I got a story for you. She said, I have a friend, so a friend of a friend, who lives out of state, and they travel in their RV, and they're fans of our channel. And she said she watched our video and called her and said, hey, that's, I think I found your missing cat. And so she went and watched the video and called me and said, hey, you know that stray cat you got? Her name's Yo-Yo. And she showed up at her house as a stray, and she eventually kind of made friends with her. She was really skittish. Caught her, took her to the vet to get her checked out because she had weeping eyes. You guys saw that in the last video. And had some issues and wanted to get her fixed because she didn't want kittens running around her house. So they took her to the vet. The vet says, hey, this cat's already been fixed. It doesn't even have the female parts left in it. So they medicated her, took her home, did everything. And she stuck around for a month or two, I guess. And then they went out of town for about a week. And this cat was just kind of an outside barn cat. Went out of town for a week, come home, and the cat's gone. Well, I don't know how long ago that was, but this cat's been running around here for a couple weeks. The kicker is, they live about 12 miles north of me. So I don't know if it rode with them to church, got out of their pickup and ended up in our pickup. You know, cats will crawl up in your vehicle, and rode out here with us or somebody else, or I have no idea how this thing would have come 12 miles. But I thought, I'm a little skeptical. I don't know if this is really the same cat. But I said, so this one's got a little split in its ear, like it's been in a fight. And she rattled it off. She's like, yep, on its right ear, whichever it was. I don't remember. I was like, what? She goes, I'm telling you, Daniel, that's Yo-Yo. She's been in my house for a couple months. Listen, she stays in the woods most of the time. We see her on the driveway. We see her down on our bridge. She just comes and goes as she pleases, but she definitely comes back to the garage every day and eats cat food. So, I don't know. You always wonder those things, those stories. Like the old movie Homeward Bound came out when I was a kid, and there's two dogs and a cat get stranded, you know, hundreds of miles from home and got to find their way back. You always wonder about strays like that. Like, how far do they travel? Where do they go? Kind of like a stray dump truck, I guess, huh? Well, hopefully it'll start this evening when we need to take it home. That would be my luck. Kelsey, I don't think you want to do that. I think Larry could take you for sure. Huh, Larry? Oh, he's gonna get you, sister. Y'all always worry about Kelsey harassing the birds. I don't think you realize it's the other way around. Huh, Kelsey? Are they harassing you? So if you hadn't caught on, the goal of today's video is not to complete a big project or to make anything wild and crazy or go catch the biggest fish or kill the biggest deer. It's I'm telling you, some days you just have to catch up. You just have to do all the little things. I mean, I know it sounds silly because a lot of folks don't quite understand how much time goes into being a full-time content creator. I know I didn't at one time, but pumping out content, 3 full-length 30 to 45 minute videos a week takes a lot of time, and I neglect things like this big dead tree standing about 40 feet from my shop. Needs to come down. It's not a project for today, but it needs to come down really soon. And I've got about 3 or 4 more around the house and around the garage that need to come down. It's a project. It's a project for another day. But the next project on the list today, I'm trying to get ahead of the curve, not tear something up. So let me just show you. So you guys know we've been using the dump trailer to haul the mud and dirt and stuff away from the pond. Towing it behind the tractor works really well. I've reworked some of the ground around the pond so that it can get the tractor in and out. Haven't done it yet, but I've been reworking the ground, resloping, and trying to make an easier access point. But one thing I have noticed, so I asked you guys and I asked several other folks what the best option for towing a trailer, a heavy loaded trailer with a tractor was. Now, I'm using the drawbar and just put a ball directly on that. The other option is to use an attachment that goes on the 3-point lift that puts a receiver hitch and a ball on the 3-point lift. I was a little unsure if the 3-point lift idea was the way to go, and I still haven't tried that yet because the drawbar just seems like a strong, solid place to anchor such a heavy trailer. Now, you guys know this is the TYM 5835R. My 574, I broke the drawbar attachment plate where the drawbar goes into the tractor, pulling a big flex swing mower. Now, this tractor's very heavy built. This was a Branson model that TYM bought out Branson. I've explained all this before. So the 5835R from TYM used to be a Branson tractor. And what's crazy is if you look at this thing, let me find one of the VIN plates, or not even a VIN plate. Just let me look right here. That sticker still says Branson 5835R. So this was a Branson tractor, which they're very dependable, very good tractors. I've never heard many people say many bad things about Branson, and this has been a good tractor for me. So I don't know if those are going to work for what I need or not. I just grabbed a few different sizes, but you can see where this drawbar is going in here. It is already bent that. Now I don't know if it's the bottom. It looks like the bottom is bent down, not the top bent up. I'm not sure. But these pins that are in here really aren't doing much other than just holding that drawbar from swaying side to side. It's pinned back in there as far as it'll go. And I don't want the same thing to happen to this tractor, even though this one's built a little bit different. But as you can see, that's put a lot of pressure on that and has bowed that a little bit. And right now, the only thing that's keeping that, those metal pins are not holding that steel together by any means. And I don't know. I'm going to redo it. I think if I can find the right size bolts to put in there, I may not have the right size exactly, but we'll see. I'm going to take everything off and put a bolt in there and snug it down so that can't open up and bend out anymore. I mean, what are the odds? Two tractors, very similar issues. That's the drawbar that came with this tractor, and that's how it was installed on the tractor when I got it. It does look like it sticks out a long ways, but if it doesn't do that, when you're turning, you're driving the tractor, so you turn, then your tongue will get into the tire, so you need that distance. Where with the 3-point hitch, if I had the attachment for a receiver hitch, the trailer would attach, you know, out past the 3-point and then back. I'm not sure if that's a really safe way to pull such a heavy trailer when it's loaded off the 3-point hitch. I don't know. Maybe it is. Maybe there's not a problem with that. But right now I know this is already starting to do a little bit of damage to the tractor. And, well, just honestly, that's not a great thing. And really the only reason it's doing that is because I'm not always pulling the trailer on level ground. You guys have seen me go up some big hills and down some big hills. And those pivot points where the tractor starts to go up, but the trailer's still, you know, like in a low swag or across a big hump, that's what's causing that issue on this. So, I don't know. Maybe I need to think about getting that attachment for the 3-point lift to tow a trailer with. I'm just not sure. Don't be stealing my stuff down there, Kelsey. That'll work. I need some washers. My thought process here is, at least with bolts, I can use my impact and cinch these down really tight and pinch that steel together so that it keeps that from buckling up. It looks to me like the top has buckled up more than the bottom buckled down. But I don't know. I don't have any washers that'll fit. So we're gonna temporarily try this out the way it is. It probably needs a couple washers. Now I know that's not going to have enough torque to actually sandwich that together, and that's not 100% what I was hoping would happen. There's no way it's going to have that kind of torque, but that will at least keep us solid in there. I'm going to try, this has got 3 different holes. I'm going to push it in as far as it'll go. I'll have to be really, really careful when I turn, because the trailer is going to want to hit my tires if I turn too sharp, but I think it's a better idea. The only way I'm going to be able to sandwich that back together is if we get a cutting torch and heat this up a little bit. And I don't have one here because you guys know I loaned my welder out to my brother-in-law. I need to tighten this back up. It's loosened off a little bit. But anyways, I loaned my welder and cutting torch and everything out to my brother-in-law. That's usually where it's at. Alright, gotta keep the little job progress going. Get that right, Earl. Getting things done. Kinda, maybe. Grabbed a couple camera batteries. I need to go change out some game camera batteries and put some feed in the pig trap, because 2 nights ago we had one pig come in. He didn't get in the trap, but he came and investigated. My guess is there's nothing in there to eat because the deer have eaten it all, which is fine. So I'm gonna bait the pig trap, go change out a couple game cameras. I'm telling you, it's still it's still hot for deer season. I'm hoping we'll get a cool front and cool off a little bit, and we can really do some serious deer hunting. As I said earlier, Houston's down to his last week of football, so that means we'll have 2 extra nights out of the week we don't have practice. Actually 3, because they do a quick walkthrough on Friday evening too, so that'll save those days and then free up the weekends, and we can actually harvest the deer. So having that big pig trap has it's kind of changed the way I see these feral hogs over the last few years. You know, used to, before I had that trap, you know, we would put out deer feeders and food plots and wheat and all the things for deer, and obviously the pigs come in, and once the pigs move in, they just push the deer out. I mean, that's just pure and simple fact. And once they find that food source, they're not giving it up. But I thought back then that I could, you know, get Josh or somebody to come in here with a big trap that sounder, trap 8 or 10, 12 pigs, and we'd be good for 6 months, 8 months, something like that. But that's just not the case. Like, I've had this big pig trap. I've had 2 of them now for a while, but having them on my own property, I can stay on top of these pigs, and that's the major key. Is if you don't stay on top of them, you're not doing any good. And I can come in here and trap. We get a sounder that moves in. We'll have 8 or 10 pigs, and we can catch them. And you're like, all right, they're gone. And it's not 2 or 3 weeks later. Well, here's 1, here's 2, and usually they're just boars that are roaming, looking for a group of sows to breed. But 1 or 2 turn into 4 and 5, and then next thing you know, you got 10 or 12 running around again. And they just cover such a big area. They roam a lot, and I can trap a sounder, a group out of here, and within a month there's a whole nother group that's moved in, and they're constantly breeding, constantly having babies. So you have to stay on top of it, or it doesn't do any good. So next little project after I get finished with what I'm doing, I need to fill in this ditch a little bit. I went ahead and dumped a few loads of dirt here, and it's not like this ditch really carries water. It doesn't run across my road here and run into that ditch. There may be some that runs down it, but it doesn't really go in there. But you can see it's eroding out from under these big oak trees that are in here. And I need to reshape this a little bit. When we cut hay and bale hay here, it's really hard to get hay equipment and things in there because this is washed out so much. I mean, that grassy area is a good 2 feet higher than that. So I'm gonna fill this in so that we have a little bit wider area to work with. I'm not filling the ditch in all the way down there, just past that oak tree. But anyways, I'm gonna go finish what I'm doing, and then I'll bring the skid steer over here. And I think I dumped 4 loads of dirt with the dump trailer right here a couple days ago, so I can fill that in, and then we can eventually widen this area out and make it so that it's easier to get equipment through there. You want to ride, don't you? Come on, Earl. Come on. Get up here. Earl. You goober. Earl. Come on. Get up here. Get in your spot. All right. Let's go. Y'all ready for a break? Look at that big, beautiful hole in the ground. Well, that looks a lot better. Now I can reshape this and we'll be able to get through there with, you know, a batwing mower or a hay cutter, a hay rake or things. It's just eroded over time right here. And most of the water that comes down the hill actually goes that way and comes out and out into the field. It really doesn't use that ditch a lot. So I don't think I'll have any problems there, but I can't quite finish cleaning up everything and reshaping everything that I want to because my low fuel alarm keeps beeping at me. So I guess I'll get this back to the house and refuel it. Yeah, look who it is. Never know where you're gonna find that little kitty cat. Could have swore I shut that. That looks much better. Okay. All right. A couple more things checked off the list. I forgot when I used that the other day that it was getting low on diesel. And then you drive it across the pasture and you get to do a job and the low fuel light beeps at you. So it's about time to start winding down. Houston's got to go to football practice in a little while. Forgot I got to take the dump truck back home. I have one more thing to check off the list before all that. What's up, Charlie? You don't have much to say today? All right. Sun got my eyes. There we go. I'm just kidding. Yeah, right. Y'all didn't really think I was going to sit down and take a nap, did you? I mean, it does sound like a great idea. And I would like to. Now it's just not the time. All right, pretty girl, don't let me down. Went and got me a glass of unsweet tea since we're still carnivoring. I don't guess they thought about putting cup holders in trucks whenever this was made, in the 70s sometime. Here we go. Oh, she's purring. She's purring. As soon as we build up some air, we'll get to moving. Y'all stay over there. I gotta park this truck, okay?